Welcome to our show, Hong Kong Brief. Today, we dive into the fascinating world of literature where multilingual writers are redefining the literary landscape. Lijia Zhang highlights the journeys of authors like Nabokov and Brodsky, who navigated their identities while writing in a non-native language, proving that diverse voices can enrich storytelling and creativity. In the realm of art, we explore the impressive new showrooms of Sotheby's and Christie's in Hong Kong. Despite a global art market slowdown, these auction houses have made significant investments to enhance their spaces, providing immersive experiences and year-round exhibitions. The contrast between declining auction sales and a growing Chinese art market showcases the dynamic nature of art commerce in the region. Lastly, we turn our attention to the rising interest in electric vehicles in China, which has overshadowed concerns about global warming. With searches for climate change hitting an all-time low, experts warn that the focus on job creation in renewable energy may be diverting attention from urgent environmental issues. Join us as we unpack these stories and more. Please stay tuned for detailed content. South China Morning Post. In a thought-provoking article, Lijia Zhang delves into the complex experience of multilingual writers, particularly those who craft narratives in a language that is not their mother tongue. She highlights the journey of luminaries like Vladimir Nabokov, who transitioned from writing in Russian to English after emigrating to the United States, achieving great success with works such as Lolita. Despite his acclaim, Nabokov mourned the loss of his native language, which he described as rich and unrestrained. This duality of experience resonates with Zhang, who finds both liberation and challenges in expressing her thoughts in English. Another poignant example is the Russian-American poet Joseph Brodsky, whose poetry reflects themes of exile and identity, showcasing the inner conflict faced by non-native authors as they navigate their cultural roots while embracing a new language. Ultimately, writing in a second language opens up a broader canvas for expression, enriching the literary landscape with diverse voices and stories. South China Morning Post. The competitive landscape of the art market is shifting as auction houses Christie's and Sotheby's unveil their new, luxurious showrooms in Hong Kong, despite a global slowdown in art sales. Sotheby's has transformed a 24,000 square foot space in landmark Cente into a vibrant hub for exhibitions and events, while Christie's has established a 50,000 square foot headquarters in the Henderson, allowing for a more dynamic year-round program of sales and exhibitions. This strategic move reflects a desire for greater control over their environments, enabling them to host events more frequently and securely, while also enhancing their branding. As both auction houses adapt to changing market conditions, they aim to attract a wider audience and cater to the evolving tastes of art collectors, indicating a promising future for the art scene in Hong Kong. South China Morning Post. The rising global interest in electric vehicles, EVs, particularly those from China, has overshadowed discussions on global warming, as highlighted by recent Google Trends data. While searches for electric vehicle have surged, inquiries about global warming have plummeted to historic lows, suggesting a shift in public focus. Environmental expert Paul Harris attributes this trend to the politicization of climate change, where the term has become contentious amid domestic and geopolitical debates. He notes that while China leads in clean energy initiatives, it continues to expand coal production, raising concerns about its environmental commitments. As the world grapples with the urgency of climate action, the pace of transition away from fossil fuels remains slow, with Harris warning that while limiting global warming to below 2 degrees Celsius is theoretically achievable, it may be politically unfeasible given current global dynamics. South China Morning Post reports that a significant climate protest in New South Wales, Australia, led to the arrest of 138 demonstrators as they blocked the shipping channel near the port of Newcastle, the largest coal export terminal in the country. The protest, organized by the activist group Rising Tide, aimed to disrupt coal shipments as part of a 50-hour blockade that began on Friday. Although the port operator stated that the disruption was minimal, an inbound coal ship was forced to turn back due to the protest. The issue of climate change remains contentious in Australia, which is a major exporter of thermal and coking coal, highlighting the ongoing struggle between environmental activism and fossil fuel interests. In another notable event, the Golden Horse Awards in Taiwan recognized outstanding films from mainland Chinese directors, including Liu Ye's docudrama An Unfinished Film, which focuses on the COVID-19 lockdowns in China. Liu's film won both Best Film and Best Director, with his wife accepting the awards on his behalf due to his work commitments in Japan. The awards ceremony showcased a variety of films that are often stifled by censorship in mainland China, illustrating the artistic freedom found in Taiwan. Alongside Liu's film, Gung Jun's black and white gay drama Belle Ami also garnered accolades, including awards for Best Leading Actor and Cinematography, emphasizing the diverse narratives emerging from the region amidst ongoing political tensions. Nikkei Asia highlights the rapid global expansion of Chinese toy retailer Pop Mart, driven by the popularity of its blind box figurines among collectors. Since opening its first overseas store in Jakarta in July, Pop Mart has launched its 100th international store, with plans for further expansion. The allure of blind boxes, which contain random collectible figurines, taps into a sense of nostalgia and individuality among consumers, particularly adult collectors. The company's revenue from international markets has surged, significantly outpacing growth in China, as it continues to innovate and engage with global pop culture through exclusive collaborations. However, challenges remain as competition intensifies and the brand seeks to diversify beyond collectible toys while maintaining its loyal customer base. South China Morning Post reports that Canada has issued a formal apology to the Inuit communities of northern Quebec for the mass killing of sled dogs that occurred in the 1950s and 1960s. This tragic event severely disrupted the Inuit way of life, stripping them of their primary means of hunting and transportation across the harsh Arctic terrain. Federal Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations, Gary Anandasangari, visited Kangak-Sujwak to express remorse and announce a compensation package of $45 million Canadian dollars. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police had previously justified the slaughter as a measure for public safety, but Inuit leaders argue it was a deliberate attempt to undermine their nomadic lifestyle. The emotional scars from this historical injustice linger, as Inuit communities continue to grapple with the repercussions of losing their sled dogs, which were vital to their culture and survival. In another significant development, South China Morning Post highlights Iran's announcement to activate thousands of new centrifuges for uranium enrichment in response to criticism from the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA. This move is seen as a direct challenge to Western nations, with Iran's deputy atomic chief, Behrouz Kamalwandi, asserting that the new capabilities will create a more advanced nuclear program. The IAEA's recent resolution demands clarity on Iran's nuclear activities, and failure to comply could escalate tensions, potentially involving the UN Security Council. Despite Iran's claims that its nuclear ambitions are purely for civilian purposes, the international community remains wary, especially after the US withdrew from the Vienna Nuclear Pact in 2018, leading to Iran's non-compliance with the agreement. Lastly, the South China Morning Post discusses the pressing need for Hong Kong to reassess its land demand amid changing economic circumstances and a looming budget deficit. Experts, including finance policy advisor Professor Lu Pakwai, advocate for a review of land production strategies to align with long-term economic shifts and geopolitical factors. The current government dismisses concerns over potential land oversupply, emphasizing the importance of maintaining control over land supply through a government-led land bank. The ambitious reclamation project off Lantau Island aims to create new commercial areas and housing, but experts warn of financial risks and the necessity for accurate cost-benefit analyses. With the city's economic growth forecast recently downgraded, the call for a more responsive approach to land demand has never been more urgent. SCMP opinion highlights the critical importance of early detection in the battle against cancer in Hong Kong. While the city recorded a surprising decrease in new cancer cases in 2022, attributed to disruptions in screening during the COVID-19 pandemic, the reality remains concerning. With breast cancer now the second most prevalent cancer in the city, the government has initiated a pilot scheme for breast cancer screening, targeting at-risk women. Chief Executive John Lee Kochiu has promised to enhance risk-based screening for prevalent cancers, emphasizing the need for continued vigilance in cancer awareness and early detection. The increase in 5-year cancer survival rates from 42% to 55% over the past 2 decades offers a glimmer of hope, underscored by inspiring stories from patients like Olympic cyclist Chris Hoy, who bravely shared his terminal cancer diagnosis. South China Morning Post reports on the latest upheaval in the football world, particularly focusing on Manchester City's dramatic decline. Under Pep Guardiola, the team suffered its worst home defeat since 2003, losing 4-0 to Tottenham Hotspur, marking the first time they have lost 5 consecutive matches since 2006. This shocking loss comes just days after Guardiola extended his contract, raising questions about the team's future as they risk falling behind Premier League leaders Liverpool. Meanwhile, Arsenal and Chelsea found success in their matches, while Wales faced a disheartening defeat against South Africa in rugby, marking a winless year for the team. In tennis, Novak Djokovic welcomed former rival Andy Murray to his coaching team, signaling a new chapter in their storied rivalry. SCMP opinion also delves into the sustainability of Hong Kong's $2 transport fare scheme for the elderly and disabled, a vital program that has enhanced mobility for many. However, the extension of the scheme to include younger beneficiaries has raised concerns about its financial viability, with public spending on the subsidy increasing significantly. Despite discussions around potential adjustments, the government, represented by Secretary for Labor and Welfare Christie Khan, has assured the public that there are no plans to cancel the scheme. The integrity of this welfare measure must be preserved, especially as the government grapples with a substantial deficit. The ongoing challenge lies in balancing cost containment with the social benefits that such a program provides to the community, particularly for those genuinely in need. South China Morning Post, St. Vincent, the creative alias of Annie Clark, has always been a chameleon in the music industry, effortlessly shifting her identity through collaborations and performances. Her latest album, All Born Screaming, marks a significant milestone as her first self-produced work, born from the grief of losing loved ones during the pandemic. Clark describes the album's title as a reflection of the chaotic nature of life, emphasizing how music allows her to make sense of internal and external turmoil. With a rich history of artistic evolution, St. Vincent's performances continue to captivate audiences, blending euphoric melodies with poignant lyrics that explore themes of love, loss, and identity. South China Morning Post, Dover Street Market, founded by Ray Kawakubo of Comme des Garçons and Adrian Joff, has transformed from a quiet street in London into a global fashion destination. Launched 20 years ago, the concept store blends luxury with independent brands, creating a unique shopping experience that has drawn in a diverse clientele. Joff emphasizes that their approach is rooted in creativity and commercial success, showcasing avant-garde designs alongside established luxury names. The store's locations, often in unconventional neighborhoods, reflect their commitment to innovation in retail, prioritizing experiential shopping over traditional luxury norms. As they plan for the future, Joff and Kawakubo remain dedicated to fostering new designers while maintaining the authenticity that has made Dover Street Market a hallmark of contemporary fashion. South China Morning Post, Nancy Mace, a Republican representative from South Carolina, has made headlines with her controversial stance on transgender rights, particularly regarding restroom access for newly elected Democrat Sarah McBride. Mace's background as the daughter of a military general shaped her perspective, but her political career has been marked by divisive actions, including introducing a transphobic bathroom bill. Despite facing backlash and even death threats, Mace remains unapologetic, framing her actions as protective of women's spaces. Her journey from a high school dropout to a prominent political figure, including her time as the first female graduate of the Citadel, illustrates a complex narrative of resilience and controversy as she navigates the charged landscape of American politics. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Turn the lights on screen. What's the latest scene? Just you and me, laugh and disagree. On the couch we sit, talk about the hits, news and bits, chat through all the fits. 6-degree chats. Gotta talk about that. Like crazy chat. Share where we're at. From weather change to the world's big stage, everything's fair game under our spotlight's flame. Grab a coffee quick, get your hot takes thick. We're here to mix and pick, every topic's our flick. 6-degree chat.